The Alto Nights is a really brilliant film. I will say this is not ordinarily my kind of film, but I want to give it a chance because the cast is great, so I'm going to praise it. But it is worth bearing in mind that if this is your kind of film, you will probably have very different expectations. Also, I wasn't aware of the protagonists. This is based on a true story, which I'll expand on in a moment. So if you know more about the true story or the true individuals involved, you may also have different perspectives, different opinions. I'd really love to know what you think. The film was released in 2025. It's directed by Barry Levinson, written by Nicholas Pileggi. I apologise if I've mispronounced that. And we have a cast including Robert De Niro, Debra Messing, Cosmo Jarvis, and various others. And De Niro actually plays Frank Costello and Vito Genovese, and they are true individuals, both crime bosses in New York, and I think it was a pretty interesting way to approach things with De Niro playing both. It certainly made it something a little bit different. Would I enjoyed it more or less had it been a different actor playing one of the roles? Honestly, I don't think either. I think I would have enjoyed it pretty much about the same. And of course it is about the two characters competing for control of the streets, and I thought it was very good. As I said, not usually my kind of story, but I really enjoyed it. And I think one of the main reasons for that, well, there are a few reasons actually, but one of the main reasons is the character writing. The characters are so interesting. The performances are great. Obviously, De Niro gave a fantastic performance, so captivating, so easy to be drawn into his performances. That for me is one of the main reasons why it worked. But it's also really stunning to look at. It's a very busy film with quite busy editing and a lot of jumping around, but in a way that works, in a way that's very well crafted. There are stories that maybe aren't the best and they rely on very choppy editing to try and keep the viewer engaged, but that's not the case here. We do have quite creative editing, but a story that also stands up on its own without relying on other things to keep the viewer engaged, and I think they did a really good job with that. Very well written characters. I have no idea how true they are to the real individuals. If you have any thoughts on that, please feel free to share, but certainly I found them to be very interesting. We have great dialogue and great delivery of a lot of that dialogue, really great performances, really great music. The music is by David Fleming. It's a really nice, satisfying film to listen to, solid camera work and lighting, and of course, as I said, the editing is really great range of locations. Everything felt believable within the context of the film. It's creative, it's engaging, the story works really well, the characters are fascinating. It felt like stories that needed to be told, and I have no complaints at all. The Alto Nights was definitely, for me, an interesting experience. And I do keep saying it's not my kind of story, it's not the kind of narrative I pay attention to, but I have watched similar-ish stories over the last year or so, a good handful of them, and generally I've enjoyed them, so maybe at some point I will stop saying it's not my kind of narrative. I think once I've seen a few more, and I can safely say that I have seen a decent amount, but for now, I'm still just becoming familiar with this type of film, and purely based on my perspective, I think The Alto Nights was an enjoyable film, a lot to praise, no real constructive criticism. It's a solid film, and I'm very happy to recommend it.